Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I've got the property news for December 2024. So much has happened in the last month. We've had various data sources giving us their house price data, and they wildly vary the data that they've given us. We've had mortgage rates going up, but then the Bank of England has cut rates. So that's helped some people's mortgage rates go down, totally contradicting itself there. We've also had inflation that's increased this month and much, much more. So we've got a lot to cover this month, and it's a good roundup of what's happened and what we can expect going forward. So if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've got new content every day on house prices, interest rates, property investing, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. So take a moment to smash that over there right now. So what's going on? Well, lots of stuff has happened this month, and I can tell by reading some of the comments that it frustrates some of you. You get frustrated where we might talk about one data source says house prices are up, whereas another, they might also say up, but maybe not as much. And then we might talk about asking prices, and they might vary wildly to what we're seeing. But that's just the state of the market, and that's what it's been like most of the year. Now, all of those data sources are valid, and all of those data sources are useful to us, so we can get a real understanding on what's happening in the market. In practicality, the market's been flat this year. It hasn't really moved massively either way. So let's look at the two house price datas that we've got now for pretty much the end of the year and see what they've said. So we had Zoopla, who did their report, and they said house prices were up 1.5% for the year. Up 1.5% for the year. So in real terms, that means down because inflation was actually higher than that in 2024 if you average it out for the year. So that's the Zoopla data. Who else have we got data from? We've got Nationwide Building Society. So Nationwide have different results, and I'm going to explain why. They are seeing house prices are up 3.5% for the year. That's their data. Now, these are different data sources, so this is the data that they've got. The actual official data, which has quite a lag, which we don't have yet, is the Office of National Statistics. That will come probably around March. We'll know what actually happened at this time of year. But these are interesting to see. If the market was in a free fall, which some people who watch this channel believe it is, we would see that this data would start to tell us prices are going down. So it's interesting to see what's going on. It's interesting to see what they say going forward. Now, Nationwide and Zoopla both said that they feel the first quarter of 2025 is going to be strong. I've said that as well. The reason for that is that stamp duty is going up. It's getting more expensive in April of 2025. So a lot of people right now want to get deals done in order to get that discount on that stamp duty before it expires, and before that means the cost of buying is going to go up significantly. So that's house prices. What's going on with the Bank of England? So the Bank of England cut rates second time this year. They went from 5% to 4.75%, which is good. Now, that did cut a lot of people's mortgages. It cut people that are on trackers. There's lots of you that watch this channel that are on trackers that already got the benefit of that. It immediately pretty much goes through, apart from one lender, Santander, said they're going to take 90 days in order to cut that rate. I think they backed off on that now because you can't really put people on a tracker and say you're not actually tracking when mortgage rates go down. So that's what they said, but I think they have backed off on that one. But the Bank of England has cut. That's good for anyone on a tracker. but it didn't feed through to mortgage rates, except trackers. So tracker rates went straight down. Fixed mortgages, logically, it would make sense. Well, why NatWest? Why Santander? Why are people not cutting their rates? That's because they had already priced in this drop, and the market is quite busy at the moment, so they don't need to. They don't need to pass that cut on to you at the moment. They will do that, I believe, after March, after stamp duty goes up, because the market, a lot of people expect, will slow down drastically at that point. So, prices going down. Let's talk about that. So, asking prices. So, every video I make, I always get someone saying, this guy hasn't got a clue. Haven't got a clue about the market. I've been in property 25 years. I've been through crashes. I watch and read a lot of stuff about this. Just because you're seeing on Zoopla and Rightmove prices down, that doesn't mean house prices are down. That's an asking price, right? That's the asking price. It doesn't mean the property sold for that price. It could have sold for more. It could have sold for even less. Or it just didn't sell at all and it just sat on a market. House prices won't go down if you don't sell something. If there's not enough buyers in the market and transactions aren't happening, sold prices will not drop. But what is an indicator of things to come is asking prices going down. Now, they did drop more than seasonally. Normally in November, house asking prices drop because the market slows down, because it's too late to complete that transaction before Christmas. So asking prices did drop and they went down by about 1.5%. Normally they go down by 0.5%. So that does indicate that sellers are willing to drop prices. It is a buyer's market. It has been for about 6 months. If you're good at negotiating, you can get good deals. Or if you find someone that must or needs to sell their property. So yes, asking prices are down. This hasn't gone through to sold data yet, but it could and likely will. So that means as those properties get sold at the lower asking prices, the data that you're going to see in March, April, May, that sort of data, when these transactions complete, could be lower. So that just hopefully clarifies that for anyone that is saying the market is going down. You could be right. Yes, asking prices are down, but it's not showing in the sold data quite yet. It could and likely will. So that will come through later next year. So that's important. What else is going on? Well, Labour came out this month and went back on one of their election manifestos. So they said they will build 1.5 million properties in the next 5 years. Pretty much straight a few months after getting into power, they've said that is not going to happen. It's not possible. They don't have the resources. There isn't enough builders. It's just not going to happen, right? There's not enough incentives for that to happen. It's just not possible to scale up. Interesting that that's happened. Now, that's useful to know because that will impact house prices. If we did suddenly build, say, for example, 5 million houses, house prices would likely crash or drop because there would suddenly be an influx of property. People would have lots of options. And if you wanted to sell your property, you'd need to adjust your price accordingly to get that sale. The fact that that's not going to happen, they're not going to be building these properties. The population is still growing. Immigration is still growing. We're living longer. That does bode well for stable house prices. You could have a crash because in 2008 we did have a crash. That's based off the money supply drying up. If something like that happened again, potentially we could have some sort of crisis. Prices could go down. If we have mass unemployment through AI or something like that, that could also impact house prices as well. So it's interesting to see Labour's already said it's not going to happen. That is going to support the house prices staying relatively high, in my opinion. So lots of stuff went on. Zoopla and Nationwide saying house prices up. Bank of England cut rates. That only help people on trackers. Asking prices are down. That's one to keep an eye on. Those of you that say don't listen to the Rightmove data. That's where you're going to see the market start to come unstuck first. 1.5% down on asking prices in a month is a lot. If that happens again this month, then we can almost be certain that prices are going to start dropping in the sold data by around March, April of 2025. Let me know your thoughts, questions, opinions and observations below. Even if it's just to say hi, I personally reply to every comment. And if you haven't taken our Cyber Week course yet, we've got the fundamentals of property investing for £25 this week. It's a 90% discount on the original price. You can grab that. More than 250 people have grabbed that so far over the Black Friday and Cyber Week sale. I'm going to link that below, so click on that link, grab that and grab it for £25. It's a one-off charge, no recurring fees. It's got the same training that everyone else is selling for thousands of pounds. So do check it out and enjoy that and grow your property knowledge from that. Do check out all the other content on my channel, including this video right here.